There you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
For having us here. Thank you all for coming.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really awesome to share about this medicine. So, this is one of the most powerful medicines and one of the most medically volatile medicines. And it's so important for people to understand how to approach this medicine. You know, it's very heartbreaking for me to hear about people trying to order it on the dark web and do it alone, sometimes out of desperation because they think it'll break an addiction. And we're going to speak to that and how incredibly dangerous and sometimes unsustainable that can be, especially with this medicine for a lot of reasons, and how it affects the indigenous people, and sometimes elephant poachers are responsible for some of what's out on the dark web. Because elephants eat Iboga, and they eat Iboga fruits, and so they follow the trails. So what led us to this medicine is my love for this man next to me. It was, I had no interest in approaching this medicine before that. There's a reason for everything. And we had been together 6 years at that point, as my partner and love, and he came to me and told me that he had a heroin relapse, which was devastating. I was 6 years in, and he had been sober when I met him, and I saw changes over time, starting to drink alcohol, and then this came, and I had thought to myself, I would have to leave. Like if anything like that ever happened, I didn't understand, you know, how anyone could stay in that situation, and it was a walk in nature. The next day, I just wanted to clear my head and be with the nature spirits, and the word Iboga, and I knew what it was. I knew it was a plant medicine. Just came. It was like it dropped right down and through my crown. And in that moment, I had no idea like where I had first heard about it. In retrospect, I have a couple ideas, but it had lodged itself somewhere deep into my consciousness, and it was as if it was remembering me. And I went home and did a lot of research, and I learned that in standard treatment models for addiction recovery, especially with opiates, there's a 90% rate of relapse in the first year. And I think that might also be including some of the pharmaceuticals. And that didn't look very good. And I know that abstinence isn't everything, complete, strict abstinence, but it was important to look at those statistics and look at what's out there, what's available for help. And that's when I, the medicine remembered me, and I did a lot of research, just combing the net, and there was everything from like, it's a cure-all, it's a magic bullet, right? It's deadly, it's crazy, you're gonna die, like everything. And I was just sifting and sifting, and if anyone's ever tried to do research on Iboga, you know what I'm talking about. It's so much to comb through and sort through, and there's everyone's 2 cents on the forums, and I was just guided. I was really guided to find not only the right practitioner who would be a good practitioner, but the right practitioner who could speak to him, and at that time, it was really perfect for that time. The more I learned about it, I learned it was good for PTSD, which I had been suffering from. I had done all kinds of therapy and 20 years of yoga and breath work and healing diets. Definitely did it all and then some. And just a health net. I love learning about things that are good for us. So this was one thing I was still struggling with. It had a very, very deep hold on me connected to one particular trauma and one particular set of responses to that trauma that was just so exhausting. And so I decided to join him. And what I saw in 24 hours, which is really just the beginning of a whole journey of integration, but what I saw in that 24 hours was the most miraculous and beautiful thing I've ever seen in my life on earth. And I could barely recognize him at the end. He was so polluted and so filled with this different spirit. You can call it the addiction pattern. It was a spirit, it was an energy that I saw. I could barely recognize him at the end, and after this first 24 hours, I could see his soul again looking at me from his eyes. And his eyes were clear, and he looked like he had just done a triathlon and had a facial. And I'm like, what is this? And it was just the beginning, because what we're going to talk about is today a lot is how do we hold this medicine and approach this medicine in a good way, because if we don't, it's a fierce medicine. It's a really, really complex, fierce medicine. We can get into all that and to work with it, because the end of the ceremony is just the beginning. It really is. It's a lot of work. So the words that he said speak to the core of how the healing happens. Everything that comes out of it is 4 words.
I love my life. Yeah. That was it. Right at the end of that first ceremony. That's when I knew that my life was important. It was real. And when it comes to this medicine is like the truth serum. It's the truth medicine. And at that moment, I had to get honest with myself. And once I did that, that shit really opened some doors, and boom, found myself again. Because prior to this, before I scared the shit out of her, I was in my youth on drugs, addicted to drugs, partying, doing that party life, and very young age, and jails, institutions, and death, and all that stuff. And seen it all, done it all, experienced it all. And I ended up getting clean at the age 22. And I was clean militantly for 13 years before I found this medicine. So, or we found this medicine. And so during that 13 years, I'm an artist, like I said earlier, and I was, my art career started picking up, significantly well. And I started getting involved and getting into circles that I'm like, what the hell am I doing here? And making money and all types of crazy stuff, but that come along with that fame and everything. And so from there, I ended up, taking that first sip and thinking it's gonna be all good. And no, it wasn't, because that sip lasted about 5, I think, maybe 3 years, 3 to 5. And then it led into drugs and back into literally old places that I used to do drugs at when I was a kid. It was crazy. And but I knew I couldn't be there. I could not stay here. Because if I am, I'm losing everything. And I was already like fingernails in the door. The rest of the body was out. And she was ready to leave. You know, my career was gonna be done. I was gonna lose everything. And from that previous life, you know, going through the 12 steps and all that stuff, and realizing and knowing that, you know, honesty is the key to survival, I knew I had to tell her the truth. So I told her, well, no, actually she kind of felt it though, because I was like hella sick on the couch, you know, from heroin and stuff, and she's just like, what's wrong with you? And I'm like, I said, fuck it, I'm gonna tell her. I told her that, yeah, I've been using. And she just got really scared. And so she left, went to go talk to the trees. And once she started talking to the trees dropped some knowledge on her about Iboga. And see, I knew about it about 2 years prior to that from a friend of mine that did it, as she was talking about, you know, online, ordered it online and all types of stuff, and, you know, thought it was working for him, but, you know, he thought he had this cure-all pill or this cure-all medicine that was going to, you know, after each time he uses and decides to quit, he's going to try to use Iboga and he's going to reset. No, because once you start disrespecting plants, they'll disrespect you back.
Yeah.
So from there, she started cutting trees, found Iboga. She comes back to me with Iboga, and I'm like, oh man, let me take a look. So I'm looking, doing the research with her, and I'm like, fuck this shit, you know, because this stuff is hella scary. People die doing this and all types of stuff. And I'm like, what the hell? Like, I was ready to just say, fuck it, I'll lose everything. I'll go get high. Just keep partying till I die. So, but I knew I couldn't do that. And there was something in there, something down there. You're going to do this. And from there, we ended up in Costa Rica, and we do the medicine.
Yeah.
You go through the first ceremony. That first ceremony was like, it was a detoxer. And then literally I was like, what the hell was I scared for? There was nothing to be scared of at all. And that's what basically holds us from ourselves, is fear. Fear from the truth, fear from who we are, fear from what we do not understand. So from there, you know, I can go into like the first ceremony, the first experience with this medicine. And granted, I've tried other medicines as well, like plant ayahuasca, DMT, you know, LSD, whatever, mushrooms, all that stuff. And there was nothing that literally took me to myself, facing myself face to face, like it was real, like I'm really like talking to my soul, my mirrored self. And getting answers, receiving truth. Yeah.
So what I saw that was so remarkable now, I know, is the way that Chor engaged ahead of time.
Yeah.
This and after. In the retreat culture, what's missing a lot is integration and a lot of preparation. tribes have been using these medicines for a long time, and it's like the integration is built right in. You have a community holding you and watching you, holding you accountable with a way. And then sometimes people go back into their life alone. And we stumbled upon some really amazing practices for integration and preparation. So what I noticed is that he started to work with me to detox his body a little bit before, which was a roller coaster. There was non-predictable stuff in there.
This is true.
It was difficult, and he started. I noticed at a point, started to write the questions, because you need to come to the medicine with real questions. If you want real answers, you need to ask real questions. So many people who are struggling with hard addictions try to approach this medicine with the same addictive mindset. Fast, easy, take a pill, wake up, no more trouble, and I'm fine. And Iboga is not a magic bullet. Or Iboga is not a magic bullet. It's an opportunity. It's a plant teacher. It is a space to engage. And it really is painful sometimes when you are faced with that mirror, because it's the truth mirror, and see shadows and see things that, wow, you really feel, I need to change that. You know, it's an opportunity. It can go a lot of different directions, and there's a lot of preparation that can be really valuable coming into plant medicine, like being able to value the discomfort, being able to breathe into the discomfort. And there's so many ways we can approach it in a good way. And also the medicine itself, we were really fortunate to have some of the best medicine available. Where is the medicine grown? How is it grown? Is it grown in ceremony? Is it harvested in ceremony? These medicines are so sensitive to how they're handled. And if you grow any kind of sacred medicine, it's so sentient. They're so sensitive. Is it profiteering people? Or just, yank it out of the ground? Or can you imagine seeing a tribe tenderly dig out only enough roots as it needs, and asking the plant permission, and covering it with dirt so it heals and grows for longer. Really powerful medicine is older. It's 7 years minimum just to get it to be mature enough for a detox. And then you have 35-year-old medicine, 70-year-old medicine. These are different kinds of medicine. It's like being around a 100-year-old yogi versus a 20-year-old yogi, right? It's like there's so much character and strength. So having really good medicine is important. So we went and I watched him engage in the process.
Yeah.
And participate and be honest. And as much as this medicine can be so helpful, it can work with therapy, it can work with 12 steps, it can work with recovery coach and recovery programs. It very well. So if we go into medicine ceremony and we're taking a truth serum and we're not telling the truth, what do you think that's going to do? That's going to be a real tough spot. It's going to be a lot of tension. It's going to be a battle. And one thing I'm learning more and more with the medicine work is that when we take a medicine into our body, it's an amplifier of our beautiful prayers. It's an amplifier of our clear intentions. And if we're dishonest, it's an amplifier of the dishonesty. And it needs a very strong, clear, dedicated container and approach and reverence to this formidable spirit that is older than us. So watch all this beautiful engagement after. My integration was writing a 400-page book. And we talked from the minute after each ceremony, we were talking. And it was so helpful to have someone to talk to who really understood, whether, it can be a skillful helping professional or a counselor who understands about the medicine. Not everyone does. And we were talking, and he made artwork that you're going to see in a little bit, like the pure transmission of the spirit of the medicine. So this was a lot of integration became involved in the plant medicine and entheogenic medicine community, and just sharing. When we came out of ceremony after the first 8 days, I could not believe that most people I spoke to had never heard of Iboga or Iboga, much less how to get it safely. The people who did know about it were like, oh yeah, you can order that online and have a sitter. And by the way, just so you know, I brought some cards, and I have created a resource page for the medicine that has safety tips and like really vital safety tips and links to all kinds of medical research and articles and experts, a documentary. It's a really comprehensive page. I was so frustrated with what was out there. And there's some good things out there, but in bits and pieces, and the science is over here, which is not accessible to a lot of the lay people, and then, the documentary is over here, but I brought it all together, so you can definitely check that out. And it goes deeper into why it's so important to not order this medicine unless, for whatever reason, you have a relationship to a community that is growing medicine. That's something different, but not like dark web kind of stuff.
Yeah, something told me that I needed a detox before I go and do this medicine. Like at least 2 weeks before I went, I detoxed. I didn't want to shit, piss, or throw up on myself, which is what they call a quasar in the Iboga world. And I just had this feeling then I needed to go and clean, because if I didn't, it was going to be bad, really bad. And so once I did, got clean and went there and faced the medicine, at first, my first experience with it was like, I thought this stuff wasn't even really working at all. Like it was just dark, and I was like, well, what's going on? Like, what's really happening here? Because this stuff doesn't seem like it's working. And I started hearing a voice, and assuming it was myself, my inner voice, telling me like, Chor, calm down, relax. I'm like, what the hell is that? What is that? Like, somebody's really talking to me here. And, the shaman, he's trying to go in and do his session with me and bring me to the door. And it wouldn't work, nothing was happening. He was telling me that I was still detoxing. I'm like, I detoxed like 2 weeks before I got here. What are you talking about? Stuff isn't working. But something was happening. Something was really happening. Like I started noticing a shift, like within the darkness. And there was this darkness surrounding me, and it was moving, and it was eating itself. Yeah, it was really scary at first. And then, but that voice was keeping me relaxed and comfortable. My inner voice was helping me. And I started feeling this buzz, like this buzzing feeling. And I could feel like I could control it. It was going to every pain in my body. And it was, I called it like the Iboga killer bee. And I was saying, go to my knees. Oh, feel that. And it would do it. then it just took over and just said, forget you. We're doing your whole body. And mainly up here. So from there, I even fell asleep on it the first time I did it. Like the last 2 or 3 hours, you know, not too many people do that, but yeah, I fell asleep on it. But usually when you fall asleep, you know, that's when the medicine is really taking effect. That's when it's really working on you too as well. And usually people fall asleep maybe 2 or 3 days later. But once I woke up, yeah, I like jumped up and said, I love my life. Picked up the shaman, gave him a hug and stuff, and just was like, wow. I couldn't believe it. It was just, it felt like a whole new being, new person. Like I just shed, like ripped this darkness out, dropped it, put it over here, and whoa, like a, you know, like a caterpillar to a cocoon to a butterfly. And wow, that was the best feeling in the world. So yeah, I didn't sleep for like maybe like 2 days after that, but I was still having visions for like 2 days after that too. That's a good thing about this medicine, because as it's dying, as it's wearing off or leaving your body, you're still going through this process for like 2-3 days. And then you get to the second ceremony, and you know, we had a little drama in between, which is in this book, but it was a little devastating for both of us, and we needed to heal it, or nothing was gonna heal itself. So from there, you know, I let the shaman know on the side, and he just said, you know, basically, what you gotta do this for yourself. And ultimately for yourself, you know. Even though you guys are one, I gotta separate that. You gotta separate that in your intentions. And when it comes to this medicine, it's all about your intentions. So when your intentions are where they need to be, within you, then yes, you can heal. So I had to really literally go in myself and divide that, and split that, and know that I had to work on myself. Because once I work on myself, then yeah, we can work on this. So the second ceremony, they blasted me off. He gave me a lot more medicine, and I was gone, like beyond gone, in a good way. And from there, I went in deep, went really deep to find out where this problem was coming from. You know, it's a reflective medicine. Like, this medicine will take you back to the point where you actually started making these decisions and these choices in your life that will take you down certain roads and paths. So it took me back to that point. I was a kid, 13 years old, decided to drink, smoke weed, and, you know, start doing drugs. But it took me deeper, it took me even deeper to that, like into how divorce and stuff within my family, with my mother and father, had an effect on me. Took me within all that stuff, showed me it all, and I was like, oh shit, okay, there it is, all right, let's throw it away. Rolodex, I had a Rolodex of issues more than Vogue magazine, you know, and I called it the nothing that was just plaguing where this pain was coming from. And one of my questions, then by Vogue you can ask questions. Any question you want in the world, you'll get an answer, as long as you don't know it. If you already know it, why should I give you the answer? If you know this, if you know the answer to your own question. But once you ask the real questions for you and yourself, then like you'll get a real direct answer. Very simple answer, yes, no. With some little direct explanations, but mainly one of my questions was where is this pain, where is this negativity, where is this darkness coming from, where is the root of it? I want to go to the root, pull it out. And it was wow, it was just like some 3D animated version of my body, and it took me around it and led me all the way straight to my brain with a beam of light going straight to it. And that's where it's at. Okay. And in my visions, I became a superhero called Love Man, and had a cape and everything, and was flying around, shooting out love hearts, you know, like that.
Love
coming on my third, my third eye and my heart, and just was flying around and finding all these problems. And I went to the brain, found it. Oh man, it was crazy. It was darkness. So I went in and, man, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do with this? How am I gonna get rid of this shit? This demon. So I grabbed it. It was like a wooden sign or something like that, and it said negativity. Then I pulled some more influence of drugs and all bad stuff. Do it. And all of a sudden, this like trash can appeared. I'm like, okay, I'm throwing it in. And he said, no, it's not good enough. Okay. Then a gas can, the lighter appeared in my hand. Put it in there, set it on fire. Okay. No, it's not good enough. Oh my gosh, what am I going to do? How am I going to get rid of this? And then like a grenade formed in my hand and just doing that, boom, blew it all up, and that was it. And then it was just like some type of like process, like video game or something like that, and it was just doing that in the corner of my peripheral the whole night. Just blowing up, boom, 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 because I just kept throwing all this darkness in there. And as I'm grabbing the darkness, I even grabbed the whole thing and stuffed it in there, jumping on the can, just boom, nuclear explosion. Like, as the darkness, as I'm getting rid of the darkness, it started fading away, it started getting lighter, like a warmish, reddish love color. And that's when I realized that love is the answer. Every question that I was asking, love was the answer. They even wanted the shaman, tell the shaman, shut up, this love is the answer to all your questions, that's it. That's all, that's it. Okay, good enough. I love this so much, I got a tattoo on my neck. I both am love because I'm on my face, because
Integration.
part of the integration process. But
Integration.
yeah. Love is the truth. Love is the truth within yourself, within who you are. If you don't love yourself, then what the fuck are you here for? You know? That's where it needs to start. And once we realize that, then we can move forward.
Yeah. And then just speak to how this medicine works a little bit if you're new to it. So we've all heard of situations where people are in talk therapy for 10 or 20 years and they're still stuck in something. And what the medicine is giving us is this potent opportunity to have a window of really beautiful neuroplasticity. And it detoxes our organs. And for people who are suffering from addiction, it cleanses the receptor sites.
Yeah.
It clears them. So it's this rapid detox of the organ, the tissue, the receptor sites, and gives us a huge boost in serotonin levels. So we really polish our lenses and see the sacredness of life, the beauty of life, every single breath. I mean, to this day, I'm different. To this day, it's a christening, it's an initiation. So this is how it works in the body. So in combination with different kinds of personal work, can be really powerful. And it doesn't make anybody a perfect robot. There's this, originally it was used for initiation. Originally it wasn't used specifically for addiction treatment. I mean, there was no opioids in the jungle in Africa. As this medicine was evolving, I have my own theories. Prophecy is one of the qualities of the plant. The shamans will use it for prophecy sometimes. I can't see everything perfectly. But I know that this medicine co-evolved with human beings in a spectacular way and could probably see where we were going to go with our beautiful neocortex. and our beautiful complex Italian brain. And develop that quality. But originally it was just for initiation, for awakening, to know yourself, to love yourself, to know your strength, to know what life is, to ask any questions that you want. And the origin story is hinting at that co-evolution. Lots of plants co-evolve with human beings and produce these beautiful qualities that we like, that we interact with and support that plant and help that plant to propagate. So there was a hunter, a babongo, sometimes called pygmy, babongo hunter that was checking his traps, and his last trap brought home a porcupine to his wife, and he was getting drunk on palm wine, which they really like palm wine. It's a sulfite-free wine that they've made for time out there in the jungle. And he passes out, and she's left with the dinner by herself, so she cooks the porcupine. And this comes from the Misoko Bwiti tradition. There are a few different origin stories to let you know, but this is the one that we know. So she cooks the dinner and eats it herself. And in the night she starts shaking, which is one of the symptoms of the ataxia. She's shaking, sweating, she's seeing all the people in the village, she's seeing ancestors, she's seeing remote viewing of the people in the village, and she thinks she could be dying. And she says, well, if I'm dying, I'm just going to play full out and be here and be present with this, and throws up all of the symptoms. And then the next day she told her husband, and her husband said,
crazy woman.
Yeah, you're crazy. So they go to talk to the chief, and she tells the chief of the village what happened, and the chief says, okay. He was a very wise man. He said, let's backtrack. What did he eat that night? And, well, where did he catch it? Let's go back to the trap. So they went back to the trap, and they saw that a root had been eaten near there. And bear in mind, this could be tens of thousands of years ago. It could be hundreds of thousands of years ago. And so
they just kept telling the story.
Yeah. It could be quite ancient. So the chief says, all right, let's try this. How about you try it, he says to his wife. And so he was too scared to try it. And so his wife tries it, and she experiences all the same symptoms, and she says that she met the spirit of Iboga. The spirit of Iboga came to her and introduced itself to her. Said, I'm Iboga. I've been watching you humans for a long time. I've been watching you ask questions. What is life? What is love? What is my purpose? These fundamental questions. And Iboga said, I have come to answer your questions. And it feels to be divine intelligence growing into the ecosystem to us human babies. We are the ancestor, or they are the ancestor of us. So that's where it came from. And the way that they hold this medicine is so reverent, so much love, so much devotion to the spirit. We can't come to this medicine as just a consumer. Taking. No. It's going to spank us. And I've seen and heard of people doing the medicine in ways with a consumer attitude.
Yeah.
Ordering it online, and they get spankings. I've heard of the same batch of ayahuasca giving a bunch of teenagers who stole it visions of hell, and people who took it in ceremony visions of supreme bliss and peace. These are intelligent medicines. And not to say that, a challenging journey is bad. It's not. Sometimes it's the best, lesson that we need. But it's just the ability to value and respect and welcome the presence that's coming to serve us. So integration. I became an addiction recovery and entheogenic medicine coach after this. I went through a program with an organization called Being True to You. Has anyone here heard of Being True to You? All right. So the woman who founded it has a master's in counseling, and she's really inspired by Gabor Mate. Anyone heard of Gabor Mate? Woo woo, Gabor Mate! Yeah, he's so beautiful, and we're really seeing how nourishing it is for people to go through integration. There is a danger especially in the world of plant medicine, to go through spiritual bypassing. I'm all good. I'm good. I'm holy. I'm levitating. I'm going to preach. I can do no wrong now. Has anyone ever seen anything like that? Mm-hmm. Right. What?
Yeah.
Right. That's where counseling and community, organizations and coaches and skills helpers can come into play to help us ground and integrate. So integrate is where these revelations become a part of our personality, our way of being, and our daily rituals. That's when the rubber hits the road and it really lands. And this continual process of taking inventory of ourselves and being willing to work comes into play. Have you ever heard the term, the phrase, new level, new devil? Yeah, we're all going through these challenges that we don't see coming. We're a new person every day, literally every millisecond we're a new person. And we need all these support systems, self-reflection, community, art practice. He started practicing yoga, meditation after this, in addition to the other creative stuff that we're doing, which is like a medicine journey every day, meditation. And in your body, yoga. And he started practicing Krav Maga, like a maniac. Yeah. Do you guys know what Krav Maga is? The Israeli fighting style? So what I've seen too about people who struggle with addiction, really hard addiction, it's a complex psychological, social, biological phenomenon. It's not easy to encapsulate. But what I have noticed is that these people are very powerful and very sensitive. Lightning rods. They have a tremendous power. And with great power comes great responsibility. You have to know where that power is going. We all do as human beings, 110% every day. Where's our power going? Every thought, where's our power going? And I've seen, like this guy going like a Mack truck 300 miles an hour everywhere in his life, do everything, painting like 17 hours a day, sometimes on a deadline. That little switch of trajectory in a new direction, wow. Addiction can be an initiation. It can be the soul screaming for itself. Sometimes people don't ask why addiction came. They're just so busy crushing it, smothering it, killing it, battling addiction. It's a part of ourselves that's speaking louder and louder, becoming more and more monstrous until we're listening. That there's something that needs a change. And he made a lot of changes. You can't go right back into the same toxic environment, the same flow, the same addictive mindset, and expect for our life to be magically changed. We have to go back and look at what changes we need to make in our life.
Yeah, definitely. You made a lot of changes too.
I did.
Yeah.
Radical changes.
Radical changes. Like I said earlier about my recovery time, the 13 years that I had before that. See, I was fortunate enough to have that time before I did Iboga. And the lessons that I learned in that time frame built who I was up until that point that I decided to, go breaking back and play games. So I developed this process of positive addiction. And when I created these positive addictions, they led me in a direction that I can focus more on that than I focus on the negative. So I took that as an integrative process and brought it to the forefront of after Iboga and started doing more positive things, more positive addictions. So, started getting into meditation and changed a little bit of my art style a little bit, and like you said, Krav Maga, and just things that benefited like my health and my life, spirit, and soul, heart, and everything. Yeah. And one of the things that I had when I was 13 years clean, like I used to have this prayer that I created, and it wasn't a religious prayer because that wasn't working for me. So I ended up having to create my own prayer that just guided me to, some strength daily. And it started off like this, like it was, thank you for this day. Thank you for giving me the strength, patience, tolerance, abundance, peace, genuine spiritual love, attitude, gratitude, honesty, willingness, humbleness, health, wealth, wisdom, knowledge, trust, truth, faith, acceptance, adjustments, intentions, enthusiasm, peace, balance. Let thy will be done, and I have the power to overcome all obstacles in my path. Thank you for this day. So that was like my fuel in that 13 years. And then, I just stopped saying it.
You told me, I said, when do you think it started to creep back in? And I said, I stopped saying it.
But once I found Iboga, it went deeper than that. Like, I don't even have to say it anymore. I know it. And when it comes to the Bwiti tradition, it's the art of knowing. And when you take the art of knowing into an understanding, you can really understand what is going on within you. You just know. We all know. It's as if we want to face it. Do we want to face this reality? Do we want to face this truth? Do you? And I had to do that, as I said before. Mm-hmm. And that's basically what this medicine is. If you want the truth, that's where you need to go. If not, keep doing what you're doing. Mm-hmm. That's like my best advice. If you want to approach the medicine like this, because that's all you're going to get is the truth.
I would say, you've heard that phrase, the truth hurts, but it sets you free. And all this talk about facing the truth sounds a little terrifying, maybe. But what we don't hear with that phrase is that the truth can set you free, but it can set you so free to see unfortunately.
I think Westworld, United States needs the truth serum. Yeah, definitely.
To see unforeseen opportunities.
Yeah.
Like to see another way of living, coping, and being in the world that is better than you ever imagined with your sick brain. Like maybe there's something even better if you open to that possibility. You know, another way that the medicine works is not everyone has visions. And part of the, coaching preparation that we go through, that hopefully everyone gets this information, is that the medicine works differently for different people. As you know, Charles, like not every single person gets visions, but the medicine is working. And it'll come sometimes in subtle insights or new thoughts, being guided to a new place, for months after sometimes. So it's a real skill to come in with your intentions that drop expectations that are hard and rigid. So if you ever come into the medicine, that's a really important part of it.
Yeah, when it comes to the Bwiti tradition, it's based upon your senses. So when you develop a relationship with your senses, it's what created us. It's what we're a part of. It's what makes us. Is our senses. So once we develop this relationship with our senses, we can understand this matrix. We can understand these patterns, these waves that are going on out here, and develop a real way for you. Mm-hmm. And the senses are very important and key, because especially when you're on the medicine, because the medicine is going to open them up for you. It's going to open them up wide for you. And yeah.
And just one more point I wanted to share that I've seen in the world of taking medicine and theogenic medicine, and sometimes there is a tendency to worship the messenger. Whoever is the facilitator who's bringing the medicine, where the medicine and the lineage can be working through a person. It can be intoxicating and beautiful, and sometimes there's that projection of all of the love and wonder. It's like the baby duck, like imprinting, like this comes from you, and the medicine's of you. And the messenger is a servant of the medicine, of the lineage, of the healing modality, so that transference and counter-transference, as we call it. And there is a point that I've seen of some facilitators is so seductive to take that too far. That reverence and worship, and that can be very problematic. Where, and especially in indigenous traditions, where the shaman, the medicine person, is a humble servant, like a doctor, or like anything else. equally valued in the tribe. And then when they come to the West, sometimes there's this response of celebrity worship, guru, which I don't even think for gurus it's very good if anyone is beyond question. So it's very important to come in empowered and knowing that it's between you and the medicine, and to choose your facilitators wisely. Ask them what their code of ethics is. Around money, around romantic energy, it's really important to know. A lot of people come into ceremony very vulnerable and tender and confused and growing. So as we are advocating for the medicine, and I'm advocating for them to respect the medicine. And one thing I'm going to be putting up on my site soon is questions to ask a potential provider. I mean, there's a lot of information there already, but I'm putting that up there, so that's helpful. And really, you don't want to go to someone who just has the best price tag, or you want to know where their medicine comes from. What is their art of facilitation? Good facilitation is amazing. Like we were saying, the medicine is like rocket fuel. But if you don't know how to build a rocket, you can throw it on a bunch of old garbage and light it on fire, and it's going to totally burn everything up. But amazing facilitation is a real blessing. And there's a lot of great facilitators out there that can be helpful. And especially in the Bwiti, they have some really refined art that I respect a lot. And the whole, like, if you've known, even in the world of Amazonian shamanism, there is a lot of dark and light. There's a lot of different intentions. You want to know where you're going. So that said, how about some art?
Sure.
Come over here. All right, can you do the legs?
Yeah, it's fine. Okay.
Do you want some help, Brad? You got it. Do you want me to share this button? Okay. Well, here's the book. Oh yeah, one good award. The medicine is a very good writer, apparently. I would pray every moment before I wrote. I would pray to the medicine to please work through me, and it was a challenge to be as ruthlessly honest as possible, like blood, sweat, tears.
Within the Bwiti tradition, the colors are red and white, which means blood and semen, and which, when they come together, creates menstrual blood, creates life. So, and that's what they paint their face, not with actual blood and menstrual blood and semen, but
Different substances.
pygmy paste, red pygmy paste, red and white, and that's the traditional color within the culture. What's in
secrets. It's made by postmenopausal women only, that they only know. It's a very magical, powerful healing herbs, but the recipe is a secret and it's only for the older women to know.
You'd be surprised. Herbs. Yeah. And then, I got my little token boogie bird up in the headrest, so. Yeah. This medicine is multi-dimensional, so I had to create this artwork's multi-dimensional. You can go to the next piece. And these are within my journeys, within my visions, I realized how important women are and how close they are to this earth. And I created a series called the Love Queens, or I think that's what it was. Yeah. And how their lightness just illuminates throughout that whole series. But within those visions, I saw how important women are and what they will be doing for this earth, for the people. But it's also a balance with men, so it's more of equality than separation, and keeping everybody separated, because once we're separated, we're not working together. And then once we really work together, then we'll have some real equality. So, yeah, you go to the next. This was more of a tribute to my grandmother, because she passed away like a year after I did that photo. But there was a vision that I had. Oh, you can go to the next one. There was a vision that I had that was basically me meeting my ancestors. And my ancestors are from the sun, hence the name Nyangu, which means the sun, that was given to me in Africa, or through the spirit world, actually. Mm-hmm. She went in, asked the question, what is Chor Boogie's name? They said Nyangu. That's my name, which means the sun. So ancestors come from the sun. Ancestor spirits, actually. And when I met my ancestors, they it was crazy. Like some pyramid came through, almost like pyramid, and I get to the top, flying up there with my cape, and I see this like 12-foot like Bwiti shaman right in the middle, holding his hands up. And I look at his skin is made of stars. So every time I see souls, when I see the souls in the spirit world, the souls of skin is made of stars. Because that's how closely we are related to the universe. It's all connected. If you do the science, you look deep within, even within a microscope, it looks like there's stars within our system. Our internal solar system. So, as I look at this shaman, I'm like, whoa, what does he have in his hands? Because there's this beam of light coming out of his hands. He's just like, he looks at me with a big old smile on his face and big bright eyes, and all I can see is his teeth and eyes and all these stars and everything. And he just like brings his hands down. Look in his hands, and it's a heart. And I'm like, it's a heart, huh? Okay, I gotta react fast. You gotta think quick. Bwiti now, because imagine being on medicine and having to dance on medicine in order to be initiated, and lots of it. I grabbed the heart. And all of a sudden I opened up my chest like a board game, see everything live and in motion. And right at the heart, it was darkness. It was just a cloud over the heart, like really dark. Nothing was there. And so, put the heart in, and literally felt it fusing together, even in real time. Or maybe that was real time. So, you know, this bright shining light comes out, and it looks like it's shining like the sun. It looks like a cup, and I grab it, looking at liquid just shining. I just poured on the heart, and it was gold, and so I just turned the heart into gold. And there's a little golden heart down there, you know. And I believe all our souls have this. I know there's a way. So this is a tribute to my grandmother, because she had lots of love in her face.
Can I ask about the different eyes? Is there a meaning there for the?
No, it's just a part of a style that I do. Okay. I usually do a lot of images with 2 different color eyes.
And the teeth?
What's that?
And the teeth? Anything there?
There's a gold tooth. She has a gold tooth.
Cat.
Yeah, just cat. But my grandmother didn't have one of those. That's another thing with my style and stuff. But like, yeah, and then I went through other ceremonies, and I went through. We have spiritual showers involved with our ceremonies, because after you go through the ceremony, you have to get a spiritual shower, and the spiritual shower really cleanses you. So as we were going through the spiritual shower, a king snake, black and white king snake, the only black and white thing crosses my path, and everything else is like green, like woods and jungle stuff. I'm like, what the hell is this? It's just a black and white snake. Just pops out of nowhere. In and out goes.
Crosses the path.
Yeah, crosses the path. So.
And it's a snake that eats other snakes too.
And the reason for that is, it's a king snake eats poisonous things.
Very auspicious.
Yeah, so I was like, all right, take that one, take that as a sign, keep that one. Yeah. And during the spiritual shower, butterflies coming over me and stuff. It was amazing. So yeah, you go to the next one. Yeah. Yeah, and this is my mother passed or transitioned, and I did this for her. And this is her soul. You know, and I incorporate elements, because that's another factor of the Bwiti tradition is elements. We are connected to the elements so far beyond than you think. Water, fire, earth, wind, universe. We're connected to these elements. So whenever I paint souls, that's what you're gonna get. Yeah. Next, please.
Is it grass a photo or is it? It's a mural.
That was a mural, and the grass was just the surrounding.
Oh, so it's like a photo of
Of a
the
mural.
Yeah, it's a photo of the mural and the clouds and
Yeah. The spray paint.
Yeah. And that's what my medium is, spray paint. You know, and then I dive into what death really is. Death is not a scary thing. Death is a beautiful thing. Death is celebration. Death is a transition. Death is love. Death is life. Death is colorful.
We had a client, a patron, who commissioned this, and he wanted something that would help him overcome his fear of death.
Yeah.
So Tor kind of channeled this for him. It was an amazing mission, and it's so informed by the medicine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And if you guys got any questions, just go ahead and shoot them out.
He loved it. Yeah, he really. I mean, he's already a really conscious
he was.
man, doing a lot to constantly refine himself artistically. But he really loved it. Yeah, it's very, having chores work in the house like we do every day is just medicine. It's just like powerful medicine to have a huge piece with all these colors that communicate.
Like the one on the book cover, Aubrey Marcus bought that one. On the book cover, he has some Aubrey Marcus. Yeah, and he has that hanging in his office, and that's very medicinal for him every day. So, yeah, he loves it.
I experienced a huge impact when one day we had to paint our house and we took down all of his work. And I realized how uplifting and beautiful it is to have that imagery in the space.
You can go to the next one.
Just amazing. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, and then it started the first one, like the one on the book cover, then it started following into other pieces within the series. Yeah, and so I wanted to like channel, these souls, these spiritual souls from the Bwiti. And, they're the youth, they're the kids. It's the youth coming in, dancing in and showing you that life is amazing. Life is fun. Life is beautiful. They're going to dance all the way through it. Yeah, you keep going.
What did it look like before?
Oh, we're going to get there.
You're supposed to know.
Yeah, we got some of those in there. We got some of those. Yeah, we got some of
This is a whole
those.
before and after show.
Yeah, this is along the same relation with the Love Queens. Yeah, you can go to the next one. It's the same one, unless you guys have some questions. But yeah, and this is a mural I did for a place called Cutting Edge Solutions. I don't know if you know about them, but they are
Organic fertilizer favored by the cannabis industry.
yeah, very good. They're one of the top fertilizer cannabis growers. I mean like for cannabis growers. I mean fertilizer. These guys are on top of the game. Yeah. They got some pretty high-end scientists working for them. So this one, this is just a section of the mural, of a 100-foot long mural. So this is the B side. I call the mural Birds and the Bees because, that's what makes life.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So it's a 100-foot mural?
100-foot long.
And how long did it take you to do that?
Technically, it would probably take me about a month. Yeah, but I was like going in and out. I had to go some other places and come back. And, yeah, you can go to that one. Yeah. And this is another Bwiti inspired piece, and that was actually done on a mirror because during one of the initiations in Africa, you're on a bunch of medicine and they'll put a mirror right in front of your face. Let's see what you see. And you go right into the mirror. And mirrors play a major part within the tradition. And so I was like, you know what, I'm gonna paint some Bwiti on the mirror. Just to keep the correlation, the relation with the track.
Mm-hmm. They do a certain kind of initiation with mirrors.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
The portal.
Yeah, and along with the same colors, but everything is done with spray paint. Yeah, keep going. And this is a part of that Birds and the Bees mural. And this one is related to all the elements. Earth, wind, fire, water, space, life. Yeah.
This is a detail from a mural that's coming out, the gold heart again.
Yeah, that's the golden art that, I had in some of my vision. So yeah, that's a part of a mural I did in Salem, Massachusetts, where they did all the witch hunts and all that stuff. Yeah, painted that right in the middle of the place. And they loved it. Because, yeah, you go to the next one. Because this
Look
is
at the detail on the face of that
another
thing.
detail on the face, yeah. But the same mural. This mural was like 6 stories tall. Yeah.
There's a lot in the eyes. If you look close,
Yeah,
all the eyes.
there's a lot of details. Like in the third eye, there's paradise in the third eye. You really look up close, because it's like a island setting, and very peaceful, calm. And then in the child's eyes, it's like a mother holding the child's hand.
What where was this painted?
Salem, Massachusetts.
Like what sort of a building?
Like on a building, I don't know, like like apartment complex or something like that.
I mean, I would just think that would be such a conservative environment, and I'm wondering like
It
how
is a
they welcome
conservative
people.
environment. Yeah, they still have like crazy racial issues there. Separated by money.
It was part of a project for a
So-
whole urban outdoor museum.
Yeah.
Where they welcomed a lot of students.
So, like, the area was split. Like one section of it is, they called it the Latin district. Yeah, the Latin quarters or something like that. And the other side was where, it was. I say a lot of people with money is on that side. Yeah,
Was this the people with money section or the other section?
this was the other section. Yeah. But the people with money were like, oh man, we love it, because they're just like, whoa, you guys are bringing in some real talent here. And at first they didn't want to have nothing to do with that side. Now, due to the curator of the program, his whole goal was to change and uplift the mentalities and change the neighborhood.
Right.
And the place was ran down. He totally cleaned the whole area up. Like the buildings are just, they came in and like rebuilt buildings. Yeah, he's gotten $1 billion investors like helping out with this community. And they flipped it, they turned it right around, and now they're working side by side now. So we can go to the next one,
This is
and that's the
whole
full
building.
meal. Yeah,
And the boogie bird. I want to see the boogie bird.
yeah, the boogie bird.
Behind the boogie bird.
Yeah, in the mouth too.
Yeah, it's cute. Go
Yeah,
ahead, you can move forward.
Yeah.
Okay, so
yeah.
I'm
I'll
gonna
let
tell a
her.
story.
Yeah, this one. Yeah.
This is a piece we made together.
Mhm.
This is an image, a photograph, film photograph that I took many years ago and just kind of rolled it up and put it in the basement. I just knew that I had to do it. I didn't know where it was going to go. And I always had a vision of making this Virgin de Guadalupe inspired image, but without her arrows bleached from her. Where she was the human being woman, with all of her human beingness as holy, as divine, and he painted my vision. And it was after the medicine that this came through. So it was just sitting there gathering dust for a whole relationship. It was after the medicine that we mounted it on wood together and shellacked it, and he painted what I could always see in my third eye that I couldn't get left with. So that's us together. Go ahead.
Yeah. And that's the other part of that version of these meal. You can go to the next one. So that's the boogie bird. This is another piece within that series. And yeah, movement. Lots of transparent movement within the visions themselves. Yeah, even though it was real, it felt real. It felt like reality, yes.
What are all the light beams? I don't know if I mentioned this before, but the recurring in all of the art.
Uh-huh.
They kind of just like aura, light, key, or they look really good in the face.
Like a hand?
The red light, the blue light.
Talking about, it goes along with the multi-dimensional aspect of it, but it's also, those lines are actually made of glitter, and it gives the piece more perspective. You know, when you're looking at it face to face, like in real life, in real time, and it gave the piece more dimension. Yeah, but definitely, you within the visions, of course, yes, they're there. Yeah. You know, I was trying to relate my artwork to the visions as close as possible. I'm actually working on a piece right now that is pretty damn close, like, to what the visual experience of Iboga is, which is it's hard to do because there's so much going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's like, and it leads to when I was visited by a shaman within my visions that passed away 2 days before transitioned 2 days before I had the vision.
He was supposed to be at that ceremony.
And he was supposed to be at our ceremony, and
we've never seen him before,
but he showed up.
In the vision.
He showed up in my vision, and then he ended up giving me a black stone that looked like it had stars and stuff, and it was amazing. So I was like, yep, I'm grabbing that. Put that right in there. Let's go. And I flew off in my cape. And this is a piece that was done for the San Diego Museum of Art, and it's a recurring style that I've always had with eyes, because I've always known the eyes are the windows to the soul. Something up with eyes. These eyes are here for a reason. They transmit, they lead to what you visually see within your mind. And they're very important. So this is visual experience.
Is that the things under the eye? That's the symbol.
That is the eyes of Ra, the symbol of Ra.
It's
So
like, that's the last
connect.
thing, isn't it?
Yeah, sun god. So it's like in the last piece you did?
No, last the conference. I think it's
Oh.
That was one of the
Symbols?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can go to that one. But that's spirit animals and stuff, and they some of the shamans have to actually, in order to become a shaman, have to fight or kill their spirit animal with their bare hands and maybe a wooden knife, and usually their spirit animal is a jaguar, and we've seen full jaguar skins and stuff, and they've done that. But
they have to go in the jungle on medicine. We have a very different idea about a spirit animal, but it's an animal that we like, and that's a beautiful way to relate to them. But for them, they go into the jungle on medicine, and they're looking for their spirit animal, and their spirit animal is looking for them, and it's a fight to the death. And if you win, if the person survives, they absorb the power of
that animal. So,
that's their. And in a culture that faces life and death every single day, it's really important for them to know their strength, without a second of doubt, to be able to respond. And so it's a very powerful kind of initiation.
And I hope this one isn't mine, because it's going to be a tough one.
Go ahead. Okay, so here's medicine in politics.
Yeah.
This was a political piece that definitely came after the medicine. I can see a lot of medicine in this, actually, of the communication. It's really, to go through medicine isn't turning away from shit that's happening in the world.
Exactly.
You know, it's
Yeah.
facing
No.
it full on. So that can.
I'm gonna tell the truth.
become
And I'm gonna
election.
tell it with how I tell it visually. And this was, I think this was right before the election.
Yeah, an
And
event for Bernie.
yeah, and when that shit happened, I have to share this again because we're gonna need it.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yes.
Okay, before.
Now to before.
No, just before we go into this, I want to say that there was a broad array of different styles that was coming through Chor. He was always a maestro, you know, really devoted countless hours to his craft. But there's a different energy. And I invite you to, I mean, they're still technical masterpieces, but it's a really different energy, and there's some of the most extreme examples in this section. And then going back before that, to when I first met him. So go ahead.
Yeah,
This is
the
the Iboga fruit. Yeah. The root that's
But you can't eat those fruits.
Elephants do that. Yeah. So go ahead. So what do you feel?
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm kind of excited.
could be excitement. There's a lot there, and can keep moving forward. And I started to notice these themes. Wait, go back or to the next one. So I started to notice a face coming apart, coming through his work on several occasions, and loosely connected with these kind of strands, and his eyes, they're looking up and looking down. They're not looking at one place. And then it's the third eye on top, so it's kind of floating. So it's this decompartmentalized, deconstructed, coming apartness going on here.
But you know what? Let me clear the water. I was painting this type of style before I was even doing. This is more life is a balance, and this was more of the balance side of it. This had a darker approach than what I do now. Doesn't mean I can't go back and revisit this.
No. Yeah.
But the thing is that this is definitely coming from within outward, and something was lying dormant within me, screaming, wanting to get out. So I would get it out this way, and whether drugs were involved or not, I never painted while I was on drugs or intoxicated at all. Right? There was just no way. But
Yeah, it's
opium
right on the wall.
Opium
Right
horizons.
there.
Opium horizons. That's what it says on the other side. Yeah, because there was something lying dormant in there
And that said,
that I had to get out. And then once I got it out, yeah, I moved on to the next piece. You know, yeah. So definitely, it's coming out. It's screaming. Something was screaming in there.
I see similar stylistic elements like he's describing. I have seen it, but I started to see these show up more as he became more toxic. I would see it more and more extreme, and it was a different energy. Like this is totally different than physical. You know that other piece? Like it was a totally different flavor. No, but it was different. But go ahead, do the next one.
Yeah.
And this was more drinking, more
Yeah.
partying,
It's getting more refined in my eyes.
and amazing. I mean, it's
But it's like it's definitely has that energy.
and this is all freehand placement, like the textures in the hand. He doesn't do projection or tracing, like every single thing is just freehand.
It still came out as a beautiful piece.
It is beautiful.
But everything that I painted in turn,
It's all spray paint.
all
Yeah.
spray paint, no additives, no preservatives.
Are you looking at a photo while you're spray painting for the hand say, or
Sometimes
or your
I have
own hand,
references.
or-
Yeah, sometimes I have references because actually that was my hand. Yeah,
Sure,
yeah. So I had somebody take a picture of it or something.
Yeah, okay.
But no tracing or projection.
Wow.
How do
Yeah.
you get those little key lines that are separating the little sections?
Oh, that's
25 years with the
26 years, 27 years of
practice.
painting practice.
Do you just get like a really, really tiny spray thingy on the
No,
pencil?
they got certain nozzles that they have. Like spray paint has gotten so more sophisticated than it used to be. But I started when it wasn't sophisticated at all and had developed skills back then that gave me certain hand control, as they call it.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh,
technique,
yeah.
style, and
Change the shape of his hand.
now spray paint has gotten so much more sophisticated. It's like groomed to this art form, and since it's groomed to this art form, they've developed all these types of tools that you can use, like certain type of nozzles that you can change to get certain certain effects.
And why would you choose spray paint rather than something that's like easier to control?
Because it's like a baby art form, and like those other art forms it's been around for who knows how long, like thousands and thousands of years, and it's just like it's time for the new.
So it's like the thrill of the mastery and the
It
discovering
is.
something
It
new.
was like because I did throw my goes at traditional stuff and oil painting and acrylics and watercolors and all that stuff and drawing everything, and it just wasn't. It was fun. It was good. It was cool. But like this was just something else because taking a can, a spray paint, and creating a piece of artwork. That's something that's some phenomenal shit.
So is that like 50 different colors of spray paint? Or?
Who knows how many?
I mean, is it
There could
tons
be-
and tons of
yeah,
cans?
there could- Yeah, there
Yeah.
Of course,
could probably been like 80, 90. Yeah, that's all the pieces.
Do you have a deal with a supplier? Somebody that,
Oh yeah, I'm
Sponsor?
sponsored by yeah.
Oh.
Do you wear a mask while you do this?
Of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
question.
I would say like the beginning of my career, no, because I was rebellious and I was like with that, you know, and like, but then it just was like, you know what? You want to live longer. So I started covering up, and you know I wear like all protective stuff and mask, respirator, and everything. And yeah. How you gotta protect yourself.
How big is this piece? Roughly?
That's probably 12 feet tall.
Wow.
12 feet by 12 feet, yeah, maybe 12 or 13.
And where is this now?
That was in Miami.
Okay.
Yeah, that was in Miami. Yeah, they tore that down. That's done.
So it doesn't exist
It
anymore?
doesn't exist. No.
Wow.
You do art for that.
It's
That's
very
very-
ephemeral.
It's
Yeah,
usually
it
very
can
ephemeral.
be. Yeah, definitely. Like the crapshoot.
Do you ever
Yeah.
does that ever depress you? I mean, to see it doesn't exist
No,
anymore, or you just live
you gotta
with it?
roll with the punches, man. You
Okay.
just gotta like, you know, I've been dealing with this for a long time.
Okay.
Yeah, you get kind of used to it after a while.
You have no photos of it.
Yeah,
This exists.
nothing lasts forever.
I think that's sad,
That
yeah.
exists, yeah. That was actually just a piece I did for Syracuse University, and an art show I had out there, and yeah, I was partying at that time.
So go ahead and move forward. Yeah.
Yeah. That was at a museum in Baton Rouge, and this one I actually took a self-portrait of this one, and yeah, she did the portrait, and you know, had to give a little rooted with it a little bit as far as you know, throwing some African roots in there, but like it was for this museum for street art and stuff, and yeah, it definitely has that energy. Has that energy of ego and control and pride and all that stuff. Yeah.
Move forward.
Anger. Who said anger? Yeah.
Yeah.
You said that like 5 times already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is one from those days too. This is very beautiful and glamorous and
It is.
sleek and like it. And so there was many cases that were so beautiful. It's just a different energy.
But yeah, this was in Times Square. So I did this in Times Square, and I don't think get away with painting some screaming faces out there. Maybe I could have, but at that time. But no, I wanted to. I was approaching it. I was approaching this style differently, and yeah, trying to come off a little bit more happier. Yeah. Yeah. You go to the next.
So this is a trick question. Before or after the medicine? Who wants to guess?
Since you said trick, I would say after.
Yeah.
Because you said it's a trick.
Yeah. I mean, this is a deep piece. This is a sculpture that took him like 6 months of surgical operations on money. And I mean, hey, money on the mind. Like,
You know, there was a lot of political stuff going on, and you know,
he hits even inside the cavities of the eyes, nose, and jaw. It's all collage.
this piece speaking volumes
Yeah.
about what is really going on out there. So
Greed mentality.
it was like, but it was the craziest thing, one of the craziest things I've ever created, because every little piece that I cut from actual real money from $1 to $100 bill was just fit like perfectly. Like it was like creating itself. It was weird. I was like, and then I would see shit in dollar bills, and oh man, I know the money inside and out. Like I had little magnifying glasses. I could see all types of stuff in there, man. They got some hidden shit in there. Oh my god! But I put it all on there, and yeah, you know, it's been featured at a few shows and places. So yeah, this piece.
The space of greed. It's important to look at all aspects of our humanity.
You know, I got some flack for it too, you know, because the title of the piece is In God We Trust, and I'm like, you know, man, people would go off on me, like, oh my god, I'm gonna send that shit on a dollar bill, talk to them. And people who make money. Yeah. So
this is before. This was sober
this is
days.
actually Sober Days.
Yeah, so this is before alcohol came back in, and so much beauty. And he is medicine. We are medicine in our essential nature, our purity, and one of my favorite pieces ever.
And this is on canvas, and this is actually testing my abilities on how far I can take the level of a spray can, and actually try to create something related to fine art.
So he put a Baroque and Rococo in there. And I was watching him paint, and he's learned these techniques of taking a can and turning it upside down, and turning the canvas so he's painting the image upside down. So he's not painting with his conceptual mind. He's painting actually form and shape purely. And you can go ahead to the next one. Beauty, medicine. That's like the medicine that was already there, and it was just awakened even more.
Yeah, and it goes along with a theory that me and a friend kind of coined for the streets when it comes to this. It's basically color therapy for the streets. Even though color therapy's always been around, we needed some terminology to describe what we're creating with spray paint for the streets. So that's what I consider color therapy. And you see a lot of colors within my work that have that aspect to it.
There's just a few more, and we'll take some questions. We can flow through.
This is before the medicine for sure.
And sober days.
Yeah, and sober days. And I've always had a connection with my spiritual self. I know it and express it on both scales when it comes to the balance of light and dark, as you see. So This one is universal connection, and yeah, universal connection between man and woman, and spirit, God, Goddess head in the middle, coming together as one. So.
Oh yeah.
That's like the piece I did in DC. That was, I think that's when the party did. Started a little bit after that. Yeah.
Yeah, so you got to see this whole
But-
artistic evolution.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's it.
I think that's it. Where are we at? Yep. I'll send this to our website and thank you so much. We'll take a few questions. I know we're
Yes,
gonna
thank you.
end soon, and please, before you go, feel free to take a sticker or card.
Yeah, here. You guys got any questions?
Yeah.
I have a question.
Yeah.
I've always been afraid to go farther than cannabis because I'm very sensitive to the THC, and I can become extremely paranoid to the point where, like, it's scary. Like, I feel like I could possibly, like, have a breakdown. And I'm intrigued and interested because of what cannabis has done for me, but I'm so afraid, especially if you have any like underlying psychiatric issues, if it could really like cause you to break, because I'm seeing it in some of these, the past 2 weeks, 4 18-year-old boys that came in to the psych unit.
What were they on?
Cannabis, dabs, mushrooms and benzos.
All together? Wow, what a cocktail. Yeah, well, this is a really good question. And, you know, the good providers that I know do extensive screening, medical screening and psychiatric screening, and it is a question. If someone is prone to schizophrenia or prone to psychosis, they really look at that. And some things, it's my personal opinion, some coaching work in advance of letting people know what kinds of things they might encounter, what physical sensations, what mental sensations, that it's normal. Practicing meditation leading up to ceremonies where they practice watching their thoughts and detaching from their thoughts is profoundly helpful. Knowing, you know, what's coming, what could come. But it's not for everyone, and I would refer you to talk to really great providers about their own medical and psychiatric screening, and also be sure you're going to a great provider who is a well-known facilitator and ask, you know, where did they train? Are they with a lineage, or are they in a medical model clinic with really great protocol and standards? What kind of support do they have? Do they have counseling support? You know, in the Bwiti they have fire ceremonies and a lot of one-on-one conversation, and in the medical model they have therapists. They have people there to engage you. So it's important to really ask the right questions. And that is a great question. It is very personal, and there could be some times that maybe it's not a medicine that everybody needs all the time. You know, it's good to be ready. You know, and not only ready, but, and there's no shame in having a sensitive psyche. You know yourself. And so that's what I have to say, is really talk to a great provider about their screening. And I'm sure it's a bigger conversation too, like what you're telling me, probably could speak for hours on the conditions, the background, the triggers.
And that's on your website, where to go.
There are very few provider listings, only people that I know. I'm not trying to do comprehensive listing, and it's not a recommendation. It's just people that I appreciate their screening and medical support and their facilitation. But there's all the safety tips, and what I'm going to add really soon is questions to ask your provider. People go in there and empower them. Yeah.
I see it all the time in Arabic, people who have these kind of, you call them psychosis, you call them spiritual ones, sometimes say a little bit of both, but that's gone on by medicine work. And I think it's not, I think it would be really convenient to distinguish people in categories of predisposed to schizophrenia versus not, you know? It's a continuum and it depends on so many different things, including social support and including what's going on in your lives at that time, including the ego strength and maturity to be able to handle these sort of extended states and that kind of thing. But, you know, I mean, psychedelics are a process of radical deconstruction. And if there isn't something holding it together, whether it's externally or internally or whatever, that deconstruction might not be a constructive deconstruction and it's destructive.
Yeah, that's right.
Along this topic, so I started noticing about 2 to 3 years ago that Iboga and Iboga kind of got on the psychedelic summer camp circuit, at least in Southern California. So people who, try LSD and so much of the kind of like that. I didn't get this, it's not really a good check. And I started seeing a lot of problems around practice resulting from that. So I guess.
Resulting from people doing everything or doing it in proximity to other friends?
So the question is, do you see value with Iboga? And I never thought of people who had taken a traditional approach that they're which is more like
psychedelic tourism?
Yeah.
People are jumping around a lot of different medicines really quickly.
or over years, but using it as just like a next thing, the next So do you see a legitimate use for Iboga and Iboga for people who are stable, have successful lives, and are doing well, as opposed to addiction or research?
Absolutely. I mean, why it was used for eons was for every healthy adult child coming into adulthood. That's how it was used. Not a child, but like a young person. That it was a part of becoming fully human. And so there's different uses for it. Absolutely, they do. And that's a misunderstanding. Sometimes people say it's only used in initiation cases. It's not. They use it in regular healing ceremonies. The shaman uses it to diagnose and sometimes treat people. They use it as a hunting aid in microdosing to focus. It's a hunter's medicine, which is great for our life when we're having a target and a direction. The people that we work with, the indigenous people, have said they've spoken against jumping around to a lot of different medicines and too quickly. And yet there may be a purpose for visiting different medicines at different times. But it can be not only psychologically intense to do these different medicines, especially for novelty, like you're saying, like just to try it, it's bad, and people don't have a really clear intention or reverent intention. It can be really dangerous. Also, that's the other part of it. It can be dangerous. I was just in communication with Mac, this Iboga medical expert and cardiac nurse, and she's saying that there's starting to be grievance reports coming in where people are having really bad reactions from taking the code too soon after Ibogaine or Iboga. And I don't know the details of that. I don't know the other surrounding medical conditions or drugs that were involved, but I do know that it can be really volatile. For example, what makes sense to me is that Iboga is a mind surgeon. Like a brain surgeon. It's like a mind surgeon. The medicine for the mind. And when you're in the middle of a brain surgery, and say you have a physical therapist come in and start doing physical therapy on you while you're having brain surgery, and then you have an acupuncturist kind of come in, like these medicines work for 6 months to 2 years on us. And we need time to really deal with these powerful, complex spirits that are speaking to us for 2 years after. Or different for different people, but it could be a very long time. What's that? Or decades. Yeah, so we don't need to be being through it.
So what I've seen is that I never go there or anything, but I've seen people have the most phenomenal reset. Just kind of, the move like the structure that you were talking about, using straps and sales. And I guess my observation from the outside, that in a different way with different medicine, is that it's really valuable if you're trying to stop heroin or various other kinds of changes you want to make. You have to be a professional using it as a medical thing. I have many, several specific events, most of the people I work with came back from experience a lot of people who turn into their previously successful lives. How it all unravel and
From Iboga?
somebody. I separated that in my mind, separate from these all the ways I
Yeah.
There is some difference, yeah.
There you go. Big deal.
yeah, it's sort of like John, I lost it when I went to Africa, I went to care all right, I began to spend there a lot more, and then coming back and not necessarily able to pick up under the doctor or various other things.
But you've seen that with some of the
Yeah.
Yeah, really.
I would want to know more about the circumstances surrounding this. What I've seen is very successful, healthy people coming in and becoming more successful and healthy. I've seen that a lot, and I've had a lot of experience. I see that over and over again. And yet, what I have seen, like it did for me, is coming out of ceremony, and the medicine says, you have to change everything about your life, this isn't working, and pulls the rug out from under me, and I'm like, what am I supposed to do? But then, I did integration, and there was a better way that I wasn't able to see before, but without support and community and skilled professionals or skilled helpers, that can be very difficult.
Yeah, maybe not disagreeing with you at all.
Oh, no.
Appreciate your approach.
No, and this is why
Yeah.
I feel you, I validate this is going on, and it doesn't have to go on in a way that doesn't feel healing and fulfilling.
Every individual is going to be different when you react to the medicine.
Yeah.
When the medicine gets enacted. So
Yes.
maybe those certain individuals, the truth was spoken to them, and they felt like they needed to.
Well, maybe the career of the doctor wasn't.
Yeah, it wasn't the
Maybe-
right path.
maybe
It was
living and
what they were doing with their career. What they were
I'm a
doing.
believer in
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and
a
who
lot of
is
other
their
things
facilitator?
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
I would
that
want
can't
to know
happen.
who is
Yeah.
their facilitator? What's the structure? What's going on afterward? What's the support? There's a lot of other questions.
So with my practice partner, we finally determined we needed 6 months seclusion. But the specific experience plan that we had, is because unlike most of the medicines, because stay in the system for a long time, you can verify the plant
Yeah.
So I don't think that there was, I don't think we know.
They do another medicine.
That's something we came to after a lot of research and talking to experts and trying to understand how long we plant medicine is involved with.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a while it's metabolized.
Oh,
Are there, I know we're going to wrap up here really soon. Are there any other questions? And then come grab a book if you want, or grab it on Amazon.
When I was in Costa Rica,
Yeah.
simple the root bar, which is very bitter, and still the DHL stuff. Can you explain what the process is in Africa for us to get that?
Yeah,
It's a
definitely.
little less, a little more challenging.
Yeah, I wrote a blog about the different kinds. Like there's total alkaloid extract, which is all the naturally occurring alkaloids that talk to each other and work in symphony, and then there's the iboga, which is one alkaloid, and the root bark. So they can make a total alkaloid concentrate that is like 5 or 6 pieces in one capsule. Because otherwise, in a ceremonial dose, they're doing 1 pieces sometimes normally at traditional doses. And there can be some accommodations for Westerners to get their minds released. Totally different approach to psychology over there. And some of them recognize. how we're different, you know, like how we let our minds rule us a lot as a general rule in society of, you know, negative thoughts and self-abusive thoughts and doubting thoughts and critical thoughts, and just all of these thoughts are making either biochemical medicine or biochemical poison in your body every second, you know, and a lot of people are not steering their own minds. Like if you have a Lamborghini, you let it drive itself. We have to drive our mind, and they're so well trained because if they don't drive their mind, they're going to die in the jungle facing something if they doubt themselves for a second. So it has there's a lot of conditions around that, but they do.
When it comes to the ceremonies, they usually have like dry root bark, the same type of root bark that you guys took in Costa Rica. We usually have that, and it's like they're one of the main things, you
And
know.
fresh root bark.
And then they also have fresh root bark, you know, straight shavings off the root, so they're right in front of you, you know. And that is like the chewiest of chew right there. Yeah, but it's really effective. And then there's the tea. So they're throwing roots in big pots and Iboga in it and powder and everything, Iboga powder, and it's boiling hot water, all the elements right there. I think that's how they first started doing it, because when she told the story how it was discovered, it was the porcupine in the stew. So it was brewed. And then I'm pretty sure they took it that route, you know, and stuff with the tea. The tea. Yeah. So eating the shaved root bark and the dry root bark, that's the stuff that's has a taste to it. But that one's pretty tasty.
Takes the cake. The most intense
But
thing.
I think for me personally, the most effective one is the TA. They're all, but the TA, the total alkaloid extract, you know, there's 12 alkaloids in Iboga versus Ibogaine only has 1. So the 12 alkaloids is what you really need to get things sold. So the TA is, like you said, it has about 6-7 teaspoons in one capsule. I had a friend of mine that was a real bad heroin addict, and he took about 6 grams of heroin a day. I said, should kill you. I'm like, this guy should be a walking dead man. For a long time he was doing it. And he went and did Iboga, and his detox was freaking like no other. And he had, right when he got off the plane, they had to start take some PA. They started getting PA off the plane all the way to the center, and they went straight into ceremony. And 19 PAs later, he was like, you know, because he was gone for like, he was in the spirit world for about 6 days straight. Like, he's feeling this medicine. The medicine working on him. He told me some wild stories about that one too. So like, the TA, I think it's especially really effective when it comes to addicts. Addicts, that because they're already used to abusing addictive properties, using drugs, and the tolerance is really high when it comes to drugs. So they need that kick in the ass when it comes to filling this medicine. So
From what I've heard, that
that's what happens.
From what I've heard, that Ibogaine is also can be really helpful, especially if someone feels really more comfortable in a medical environment, and that's where they're going to be in the process and relax. And also in a really controlled medical detox, there's a place for it, and a lot of people are going from Ibogaine to physicians to have that deepening. And I have heard that some of these other alkaloids are very helpful. Like some of the other alkaloids cause pain and inflammation and contribute to the vision. They're all working together. So it is a very, what I've heard from people who've done both, several people who've done both, that it's a deeper, richer experience, but they're both really valuable in how they're played.
The Iboga
Yeah.
is, yes.
Yeah, but they're both really valuable and to have their place and time.
Because
Yeah.
the Ibogaine is, like I said, only has one alkaloid, and Iboga has 12, so the Ibogaine is lacking the pathway to the soul.
The indigenous people say it's
So-
the spirit.
Yeah, the spirit. So once,
Typical Western isolate.
yeah, exactly. With that scientific approach, yeah.
Put it in the pill and then apply it.
Yeah, it's pretty helpful.
Yeah, but it's helpful. But like,
Sean.
me personally,
No, maybe both.
I would use it to detox addicts and then bring them to the spirit. Yeah, I think that would be that's how it can work hand in hand. Personally.
Okay. Any other burning questions?
So for an addict, you stay on like a dose, like they do with like traditional Suboxone and methadone?
No.
Or is it just you just do this and then you're...
There's different levels when it comes to detoxing. So like, especially with Iboga and Ibogaine, like when it comes to pills and methadone and stuff, that is like the hardest shit to get off of.
Right.
So somebody literally has to be off of that stuff. I would advise any drug before they take a plant medicine, but they have to be. It is really hard for them to get off those drugs and the medicine to really be effective. Mm-hmm. And so, because those medicines are designed to fucking kill you in the long run. Oh yeah, and it's some demonic shit right there. The boxing and methadone is the way it's ingrained, digs in the bone.
Yeah, benzos are totally contraindicated for me at least. You have to be off them for a week.
Yeah.
They have severe alcoholism because of the massive seizures, from having a detox. And the benzos, I mean, the benzodiazepines withdrawal symptoms are suicidal ideation. That's a very bad experience.
And there have been cases where people have taken a medicine and popped some fucking pills afterwards and died.
Deadly.
It's just a deadly
You're not
approach.
giving it a chance.
Even taking heroin right after, it's not giving the medicine a chance.
The way that
But there's more people
understand it.
dying from cancer and dying from eating bad food and dying from alcoholism and pills and car accidents, and there's people dying from Iboga.
This is true. And actually, statistically, this is a fun fact. Statistically, methadone is more dangerous than Ibogaine. And that's just where we're at now, which is like Wild West frontier. Like, this is learning a lot. We're all pooling our information and learning and having better practices, and it's possible to make it even way more safe. What's happening right now is really exciting. The medical experts, scientists coming in to do research. So, but already, even where we're at now, it's still safer than nothing. Oh, that's the hardest to
I was
do.
on opiate, that was crazy that they wanted to put me on it, I just people were dying, they were switching people off of that on the methadone, and pulled up to a point, and you don't feel that you're getting an effect, so they take more, and then all of a sudden, boom, they hit you once, and it's over. That's weird stuff.
Yeah, it is. Thank you all so much
Thank
for
you
coming.
very much. Thank you very much.